The Brewery. I do like the Brewery, and I do have a brewing tag. Point of advice, it's Bud Light. Make sure Mario doesn't drink too much. He's such a lightweight. I was wondering if anyone was going to use lightweight as a definition. Okay, so it's a time restriction when you're in the beer. It's unfortunate it's Bud Light, because Bud Light kind of sucks. Like, the honest truth is, like, most cities have a beer that is the rough equivalent of Bud Light that other people would prefer to drink. Like, some places they're like Pabst Blue Ribbon people. Not a huge Pabst guy. It's okay. It's beer. I still can't believe they're so proud of their friggin' Blue Ribbon they got once. But if you're gonna drink a mediocre lager in Seattle, you're probably having a Rainier. It's beer. It's okay. It's okay, beer. Yeah, I don't think I've had a Bud Light in years. I think last time I actually was offered one, I turned it down. Said you hoped there wouldn't be a definition of that. Resisting mentioning for obvious reasons. I appreciate that. Yeah. Definitely wasn't a particular definition that was used last time this contest theme was used. I'm just gonna take the hit. I'm not getting through there. But I think it's funny. Mario gets alcohol poisoning. The level. I wonder how many movies have done the gag where, like, some dude falls into a vat of beer and, doesn't die, but just has a grand old time. PBR keg that looks like a urinal. I've seen that. Oh, where was I? I was in, like, Orange County for something, and I was hungry, and there wasn't much in the way that was open. So I found, like, this one place that was open. They served burgers, and the guy who was running the bar was, like, a massive, like, surfer dude. So I got to hear wonderful theories about the immune system and surfing from this dude. And when I went to the bathroom, they were all, like, all the urinals were, like, cut-out kegs. It was really weird. Really weird. Why can't I make that jump? Anyway, all I could think of in terms of the particular gag is, there's a movie called Midnight Madness, which is about sort of a big all-night puzzle game thing, which, obviously, that's why I know about it. And there's 5 different teams all going to college, and you've got the protagonists, who, the good guys, the antagonists. And then you have the cliches. So they've got a team of nerds, like pocket-protecting, glasses-wearing, tabulating nerds. And then they've got the angry feminist women, as well as the world's fattest twins for some reason. And then, of course, they have the jocks. And the jocks, when they go to the Pabst Blue Ribbon distillery, the brewery, one of them falls in the vat and has to be rescued. And, of course, he has had the grandest time of his life being in a vat of pure beer. Which, of course, is not how that would work in practice. It's an industrial, thing. You would have a very bad time. But it's a gag for the movie. Why are you swinging piss? It's beer! Well, no, it's Bud Light, so it's bad. How you doing, Howluta? I had a theory that a level I played earlier might have been yours. Might have been. But it was only because there was a smiley face in it, so I'm not entirely sure. Gotta get some sleep, alright. Sleep well, 3 silly potatoes, and any other potatoes that are silly or not. That's how you do that part without dying. Probably. Why'd I jump? Yeah, I have no idea whether or not you actually enter this contest, so... Oh, come on. I'm just rushing. There's no need to rush. Murder mystery with protagonist got crap cleaning a beer vat and almost died. Yeah, no, those vats are serious things. anytime you're entering an enclosed space like that, there's certain dangers and precautions you need to be watching for. There's a reason why, like, typically if you're working in an enclosed space like that, it requires, like, special permits and whatnot. And you should have special, like... people should be aware you're doing it. Which is kind of important. You don't want to be in an enclosed space and someone doesn't know you're there and does something stupid like turn it on. Tag in, tag out's always important. Had a tour of the Budweiser Brewery once. Really? How was it? I've only ever been to one brewery for a tour, and that was the Red Hook Brewery before they got bought out. And it was adequate. I mean, in the sense that, like, we saw beer. I want it. The entire tour was basically... Oh, no! Oh, there we go. Something you ever consider doing on your own, but family? Fresh cider. Oh, I believe it, actually. But yeah, basically the entire tour was, you see that? That's where we make that. That's the apparatus we use for this part of the beer making process. All right, you enjoyed that? Now let's have a beer. Repeat like 6 times. We didn't even really go into the process area. We literally were just like on a deck way above it. So, fresh cider would be good though. Closest thing I've had to like beer straight off the line was at the Westland Distillery. They would let you taste their mash. So, basically when you make whiskey, first thing you do is you make a beer. And you can taste that beer. And what's interesting, of course, is whiskey, unlike beer, they often care more about eking out a few more percentage points of alcohol for distillation purposes than they do about having a really clean product. And so they'll often use, like, let wild yeast and stuff in, so it's not always the safest to drink. But it can be very tasty, in all honesty. A bit like a sour beer. If you ever had a sour, those are tasty. I haven't had a sour in a while, man. Yeah, either way. Had some whiskey yesterday. It was Japanese whiskey yesterday. Some good stuff. Japanese whiskey is weird because it doesn't really have a big space in the industry or really anywhere until somewhat recently. And then it went from being incredibly cheap to ridiculously expensive everywhere except Japan, like overnight. So like nowadays, if you want to buy like some Japanese whiskey, you're basically SOL unless you want to go to Japan or pay an egregious amount of money. I would say go to Japan. Because then you're in Japan. That's pretty awesome, isn't it? But also, like, the prices are much, much lower in Japan. Period. Not to mention the general weakness of the yen for the last few years. Still not quite as weak as when my father was there in the 70s, but can't complain. Can't have everything. I didn't think that through, and I still survived. Makes you think of loss attrition. It makes sense. Fistbit even referenced it during when we were having Japanese whiskey. Suntory time! Because Suntory is one of the large beverage conglomerates that owns distilleries and whatnot. No. But yeah, Mars is probably the most interesting one right now because the Mars Distillery is trying wacky stuff, like aging whiskey in on an island where it rains every day. Things like that. For reference, instead of stage where you're at is now how long it took you to port one stage. I mean, that's not bad. I've only been at this for like maybe 10 minutes. Like, this hasn't been a long stage, thankfully. Ah, we have to fight the beer rat! See, that's another reason you shouldn't drink Bud Light. There's rats in it! And bombs. Be completely immersed in beer! Mario is ashamed of his drinking problem. Mario's surprisingly alive. Do they show the beer rat? No, there's no beer rat at any of the distilleries I went to. Dude, there's just one at Bud. Bud Light, once again, terrible beer for many reasons. Wow, you did it. Thank you for playing. Is there gonna be more than that? Is this really it? You jumped me to the credits just for this? And the normal credits. Okay. That's fine, I guess. I can't complain about that. Thanks for the G's. But yeah, that was a fun little stage. The beer mechanic, I think it worked better in the vertical area because I really did need to care about the timing more. In the horizontal area, it really wasn't much of an impediment. There weren't enough things to have to wait for, if that makes sense. Whereas in a vertical section, you need to be swimming a lot faster. But Ham's objectively bad. We go for it Hams. I don't think I've ever had a Hams. I mean, sure, like, sometimes I want a Rainier. I don't want fancy beer all the time. But, like, I'd never have thought to myself, man, Bud Light, I want one of those right now. No, just doesn't happen. Never has, never will. Hams is a pretty good to bad beer. It has corn syrup in it. That's a good sign. Sup, Jesus Juice? Which stage is better? Bad air or bad water? Oh, that's a good question. I have no idea. Bel Air, possibly. Oh, corn syrup in your beer. Just you. Like, beer shouldn't be sweet. Do. Yeah, beer just shouldn't be sweet. That's the important thought here. I doubt any of the enemies have changed. I'm probably just gonna have to reset this in a minute anyway. But, yeah, that was that level. I think it was a fine enough level, and I did like that there was a unique interpretation of light. One I didn't see coming, but did appreciate. So, I like it. I liked it, possibly. And it made me want to have a beer, so it had that going for it. Just not that beer. Crappy beer. Let's go back to the title screen so we can do the notes and things. Yeah, man, what kind of beer would I want right now? The funny thing is that basically every place I go to, I get a different kind of beer. Some places are nice. They do a lot of, like, quick tap rotations, and so you're, like, ordering something completely unique every time, which is fun. A Death Note level? No, there has not. I haven't seen that yet. The only Death Note reference I can think of at an SMW thing is I want to say I saw one in a Roberto Zampari hack. But Roberto Zampari just kind of has a mishmash, weird-ass universe that he's running. I can't really speak to the rest of it. But yeah, that level was pretty good, and I kind of want a beer. That's really the long and short of it.